guys, how's it going? Tonight I thought I would crack open this bottle here, which contains my plum wine. This particular bottle I actually back sweetened, so that's where you kill off the yeast, give that some time, and then you can add sugar back into the the fermented brew to then give it more sweetness, and it shouldn't then re-ferment because you already killed off the yeast. So anyway, that's what I did with this one. Just a few teaspoons of sugar, nothing too crazy, and that was just in case there's still yeast and the top blew off or whatever. But it hasn't. It didn't even make a noise or anything. So no carbonation, just back sweetening in this one. And I'll just use a sort of a mini goblet-y looking thing. Yeah. Oh, and my shirt says, "I denied your friend request." That is not how I do things. It is a joke. I like to accept all subscriptions to my channel. Anyway, so man, yeah, okay, I'll get to it. So anyway, here we go. Right, let's pour it out. Okay, we'll just do a little bit at a time here. I think I brewed it to about 13 or 14%. That's just how it turned out. I wasn't really aiming for anything, as long as it was over 10, just so it has like aging ability. But here it is here. I'll bring this up to the camera so you can check it out. I don't know if you can really see. There is a little bit of yeah, it's camera angle must be funny lighting as well, I guess. I'll explain it. It's a dark ruby red. There's a little bit of fog on the glass because I've chilled down this bottle, but yeah, very clear. Yeah, extremely clear. It's the sediments obviously settle quite well in the bottles. Not in the bottles, sorry, in the carboy before I bottled. Got rid of all the sediment first, of course. But yeah, very nice colour on it. Not as red as a red wine might be. It sort of comes away from that in a kind of a lighter sort of sense. Kind of hard to describe, I suppose. The lighting in here is not the best actually, so this might come across a bit funny, but yeah, I mean, I'll probably stick with the ruby red, especially when you're looking at it, into a light. You really get the highlights in the bottom of the glass. But anyway, so I mean that's the appearance. Very still look to it. Yeah. Let's check out the aroma. See how that is. Yep, so straight up front you're getting that sort of almost red wine sort of aroma. Not so much the the barrel aged type stuff, but certainly that sort of deep sort of fruitiness. Very fermented fruit sort of strong aroma coming through. Just a slight tang of alcohol, nothing major. I'll assume that will be in the flavour. So yeah, tricky because I'm not a wine critic. I do beer, but it's always interesting to see what wines are like. I like to check the smell of the odd Sauvignon Blanc, because that's quite a aromatic sort of fruity sort of wine, but nothing like that in this one. Just that sort of deep sort of fermented fruit aroma. Has that sort of aged smell to it, aroma. So yeah, that's about it for that one. Now before I do the tasting, I'll mention that the bottles that aren't back sweetened, and there are a couple bottles, those ones came out a bit sour. Now I think that's due to the amount of citric acid I added into the recipe, into the must. So basically, yeah, the instructions said add this many grams of citric acid, and I must have added a bit too much, so came out a bit sour, or acidic, I guess you could say. So yeah, anyway, let's check out the flavour on this, eh? Oh, it's warming. Wow, very warming. Oh, it's interesting. Yeah, I'm fairly happy with how it turned out. The first sip, eh? The first sip. See what I can pull out of it. Man, it's got a little bit of alcohol bite to it, and there is still some sourness there. It's not overboard. It's I guess it's just a sour wine. Yeah, interesting. I would like it to be a bit sweeter though. Maybe for some of the other bottles I'll add a bit more sugar just to back sweeten it further, give it a shake, pop it away. I don't know, see if that helps. It's aside from the sourness and that bit of alcohol there, I am getting kind of a pleasant, smooth, just straight through sort of fruity taste to it. Now it is plums, you know, there's nothing else in it, just plums, so yeah, it is kind of tricky comparing it back to the original fruit. I always find this with wines, all the wines I've had, I always go, man, how do you turn a grape into that? Because the tastes, they're just so different, you know. You kind of have to get over that fermented fruit flavour and go, okay, well that's obviously what it tastes like. So that's what we have here. It just, to me, it just feels and tastes like fermented plums, but with a really smooth, sort of round flavour. It's mellow, you know, which is pretty cool. So the drinkability's there. You know, aside from the sourness and that slight booziness. But yeah, I'd say I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, yeah. Let's see if I can pull anything else out of it. You never know, there might be something else I can pick up on. No, not a lot else there. No, I'm quite impressed. Quite impressed with that one. Second attempt at a wine, a fruit wine at that, and first attempt at a plum wine, and yeah, quite surprised. It's quite a nice flavour. It's not watery, it's not too fruity. It's around the middle there, and it's not dry. It's not dry, but it does have sourness. If you can understand that, I suppose, because you can appreciate that the sweetness is in there, it's just the sourness does take over, but you can feel that there are sugars there, so awesome, yeah. I'm going to add some more sugar to the rest of them and see if it sweetens up more, but that is very good. I'm pleased. I'm not going to rate it because, you know, it's a homebrew. I only rate beers that I've purchased or beers that I've got from other homebrewers. So there you go. Cool. I would suggest you give it a go. Maybe I'll put up the recipe just for you guys to check out, and I might tone back the citric acid ingredient. Don't put too much citric acid in, it'll make it sour as hell. Cool, cheers guys, see ya.